Hello, my friends, and welcome to a new episode of Thursday Thyroid Talks. Today we have a special guest named Karen Masterson, and the topic is a juicy one. It's going to be all about aloe to our rescue. I see you on now, Karen. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful Karen accepted my invitation to come on live with me today. Karen is seriously insanely smart and has so much knowledge on all things holistic health. She also has an extensive background in researching aloe and health. She has counseled very ill people over the years in 4 different medical clinics who suffered life-threatening conditions like cancer, AIDS, diabetes, CVD, allergies, and skin conditions linked to autoimmunity. So grab some tea and get settled in, because we're going to explore aloe and how it can come to your rescue. All right, 1 second. Getting Karen on. Here she comes. Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much, Coach Sarah Joy. It's great
You're
to be with
welcome.
you.
You're welcome. Yes. I just got to change my angle. It cut my head off. There you go. Welcome. Yes, it's so good to see you. I'm glad you're here. And I am so excited to dive into aloe and your wealth of knowledge on aloe.
How's my volume coming through?
You're great. Everything is
Okay.
great. I can see you fine. I can hear you fine. Are you ready to dive in?
Oh, yeah. I love talking health, especially with a health educator like yourself.
Thank you. I know we have to refrain because we only have an hour. So we can't just totally geek out on our health topics like we love to do. So, well, why don't we start at the beginning? Everyone always loves to know where people originate from. So can you share with me what pointed you into the direction of health and the studies that you've been involved in?
Absolutely. I find it fascinating. When I've interviewed other people on my radio show in the past, I used to always ask them too, what brought you to complementary/alternative health? Because it's not mainstream. And people do. I mean, we need good doctors and physicians and on every level. It's just that they don't understand nutrition and advanced herbology and all the different complementary therapies. Thank goodness acupuncture has been accepted into the medical field. Yet my interest really laid in my own health. I felt a bit out of control. My emotions were a roller coaster as a young 19-year-old, and I totally understand it now, but going through it can just seem insane and like life isn't fun anymore. And then I realized through going to the health food stores 50 years ago that nutrition could really make a difference in my mental attitude and my emotional attitude and my entire life. And so I started actually with B complex, and that was a game changer for me, and understood where B complex came from. And that is the food we choose. It doesn't come in junk food, friends. It does not. And then my older sibling, developed melanoma cancer, which eventually took his life. And that was also another learning step that I was wondering, well, why so much cancer? And really started studying it even at a young age. And my brother sought out alternative therapy, Laetrile from apricot pits, and it really did something. But eventually the melanoma took his life, too young, 24 years of age. So again, we're seeing that today, more and more young people developing cancer, but he truly did, my loving brother, just launched me into asking questions, and that led me into changing my art degree in college to nutrition. And the story I developed, degrees that helped me to get my dream job working with famous immunology and allergy Dr. Virginia Livingston. She's world renowned. She's passed now many years, but I learned so much. Also seeing the cause and effect when you take people that are, injured, going down with a myriad of different diseases and give them nutrition and teach them about how to be healthy and get their body detoxed, how disease reverses. So no one ever has to tell you yourself with your own journey as well as my own that health really works.
Yeah, wow. So many amazing experiences you've had. What a pleasure it must have been to work with such an incredible woman who was so knowledgeable and amazing. Thank you for sharing all of that. So my main question is, when did Aloe come into your life, and how did you start honing in on aloe as a really great holistic medicinal food?
Yeah, such a great question. And I am truly, friends, an allomaniac. I'm a clinical nutritionist who became hooked, line, and sinker with this amazing herb. And I knew after it happened that it was a God thing. They're always, he's always got his hands in everything. That nobody was really uplifting the plant after thousands of years being on this planet Earth. People were going, oh yeah, it's great for sunburns, but drinking it, very few people, even today, they go, drink that, take it internally. Oh yeah, it's the plant of immortality, friends. That's all.
Wow, I love that. Immortality.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
So it was really my second position. I worked at the Livingston Clinic, famous worldwide. It did sadly close after helping so many hundreds of people living much, much longer with life-threatening diseases of every type, including cancer, and reversing cancer, even melanoma, vitamin C. Oh my goodness, vitamin C and bioflavonoids. IVs, people in third, fourth stage would reverse them. So it's like, yes, nutrition really works. And then I went on to work in AIDS, because during the late 80s, that's when the AIDS epidemic really, just took hold on our civilization. And even Dr. Virginia was just starting to get some HIV challenged individuals into her clinic. And then this opportunity to move me along, and boy, another learning experience. And I saw the value of aloe in the research, but I didn't believe it. So we did a study. The physicians approved a study with the whole leaf juice concentrate, and boom, it was just history in the making. Not only did I feel that much better, it was just like drinking a cup of coffee, but all our patients, all the lab work improved exponentially. And they're all feeling more energetic, which is always, friends, a litmus of health. If you are doing the right thing, sometimes you'll have a detox crisis, so you have all this waste in the body and you feel fatigued. But once you get that work through, the other side is health and energy. And that's where you don't want to give up. You want to push forward. But that's what we saw with the aloe vera in the whole leaf juice concentrate. It works faster, quicker, and does more when you don't overfilter it. And that's really what got me hooked. It's like, and then a tumor totally reversed with one of my own patients. And again, seeing is believing. Nobody has to tell me there isn't immunity factor in aloe. It's just that there aren't a lot of products left. That's why Aloe Life has become the go-to #1 aloe in the world.
Yeah, wow. So I was trying to picture you in your study in the clinic, and you have all your very, very sick patients, and you guys were like, you know what, let's play with aloe. So just out of my geeky curiosity, were you guys literally like juicing a whole aloe leaf and having them take straight shots of aloe at the time?
Good question. Good question. And definitely the ancients. I mean, there's so many beautiful tales, and the Greek herbals that from Papyrus Ebers, it's in museums from 6,000 years ago. It says you take aloe plant and you concentrate it and you eat it, or take the juice from it, and you get energy, you get your bowels moving, you get the kidneys working better. There's just so many applications of diseases we have today. in our world, okay? Cancers and such. So this goes back, the history of aloe is beautiful. But as far as, really understanding what product we use, we actually have the only whole leaf juice concentrate available in 88, 89. And it was a multi-level, $60 a quart, if that's not a price shocker. But
Yeah.
and that's really what drove me to looking and dealing with chemists and all, and see how can we come out with an affordable product, because this definitely wasn't. Once we did the study with our patients for about 18 months, and the little book that I came out with, Gift of Nature, really tells you so many of the applications I saw, even with immunity and autoimmunity and infection fighting and skin conditions. I mean, I didn't know this, friends. I knew very little about aloe at the time. That's why I doubted it. I didn't think immunity. But oh yeah, when 2 weeks I had given my patient, more is the exception with aloe use. So 3 to 4 ounces of the juice concentrate. I mean, it really gets the bowels moving, which is so important for people with constipation, 50% of our population. And but then you cut back if you have too much diarrhea. But I added vitamin C and A to this patient who had a lung tumor the size of a walnut, and boom, 2 weeks. And it was gone when they did a pre-X-ray before they started chemo on this bodybuilder who had developed testicular cancer that they felt metastasized to the lung. So that was the story behind that. So again, we used the juice. We did. There was a product, very expensive. We bought it for our patients. And I mean, you can only do that for so long. But once we knew it worked, then they were on their own. But vitamin E, as we've shared talking off the interview, is so paramount, critical for immune function, and we don't get enough today. So every single one of you listening today, make sure you have vitamin E. Unless you have hormone sensitive breast cancer or prostate cancer, you really want to get up into that higher level. Like I take 400 to 800 units every day, because EMFs, what are they? On our phones and computers and lighting and all the things. There's like 3,000 satellites that are now circling our Earth. I mean, all of that sends these different radiation and EMFs, electromagnetic fields to us. And vitamin E is used up. So E for immunity, so critically important. And body wellness. It helps the bone marrow actually replicate immunity cells that we build in the bigger bones. It's just absolutely incredible. And you get it from green leafy lettuce, you get it from, say, almonds, beans, but you don't get enough to really give the body what it needs today in the 21st century Mayo Clinic.
Right? Yeah.
The Mayo Clinic, real quick, wants you to only get your nutrition from diet. Well, you would have to eat, you know yourself, because you're such a good foodie coach, that you can't eat that much to give you that much vitamin E and C. But you want to keep the diet, as you have done for your clients, as nutritious as possible. It makes a huge difference. You can't get all the unknowns from nutrition, from supplements. So there's still unknown nutrients in food that we haven't discovered yet. So that's why you still want to eat as much organic, go with foods, variety, and keep the junk food down, right?
Yeah, that's why I always encourage my clients to get a really good blender and a really good juicer, because like you said, it's really hard. We would have to eat pounds way over our daily caloric intake in order to get all the nutrients we need. It's just not feasible. You would have to be eating constantly. But if you can, use great supplements in concentrated forms, or concentrate your nutrition into like a juice or a smoothie where you can pack a big punch in one, in one sitting, like that is the key to like increase your nutrients in a really sustainable way.
Food fiber. Yes, I couldn't agree with you more, Coach Sarah Joy, but you need the food fiber too. So don't keep thinking juicing is the way, because food fiber actually helps this whole fermentation cycle.
Yes.
Which actually reverses cancer and balances autoimmune, like with thyroid, so many of the thyroid issues, and over 160 autoimmune right now diseases. I mean, so applying health, friends, to you, your family, friends. I mean, it's all about sharing the joy, right?
Yeah, yeah, and you're right. That's why I said smoothies too. You know, one of the things that I test that I use to help my people get better is a gut test. And from looking at all of their results, it is so, like you said, the fiber aspect of our diet, that is what our microbiome thrives on. We have to have it. And because the diet has just become so bleak, a lot of people's just basic fibrous needed bacteria are hurting. So yeah, I agree with you on that big time. So let's dive into a little bit about how aloe can help thyroid symptoms, thyroid conditions in particular. So you got me curious. You said that you helped your bodybuilder client get rid of his tumor. So a lot of my clients and my followers, they have nodules, and they have nodules that will go cancerous. They have very swollen, painful glands from the nodules. Could aloe concentrate or aloe in general help with that?
Absolutely. And that's the good news here. The good news is when you use a therapeutic aloe, and we're talking, there's a big difference in aloe, friends. There truly is. I think that's why the secret, we don't want it to be a secret anymore, of this incredible herb, which is number one. Okay, it's the most therapeutic herb in the ancients with ginseng and gotu kola and all the ancient garlic, aloe. You know, it's just like amazing. It's in the garlic family. Okay, so what I didn't believe, but then I saw it with my own eyes, and then I've had many cancer patients I've worked with. They all benefit along with antioxidants, and just like we're talking, you know, the body needs 91 nutrients, but the aloe is actually a driver. It's a piggyback for other nutrients to go deeper into your body, into plasma, and even a carrier for all your nutrition. And this is some of the newer research. So when I first got in, it was kind of the back door in a way, just with, you know, a crisis, you know, the AIDS epidemic. You know, it just like pushed people to understand. The movie that came out from it has aloe all through it, you know, and whatever that movie is. And having to answer your question, aloe stimulates immunity in 4 different pathways. Okay, our innate, what we're born with, our acquired, which is so important every day, and also in all your tears and such, the aloe impacts fighting infection in the lungs. Okay, so from head to toe, the research has been repeatable. So it went from 200 different excellent scientific repeatable studies that were done on immunity, on wound care, okay, and antifungal. Okay, those were the first. And so now it's gone to 3,500 different research papers, repeatable all over the world, of how it works and what it does. And when you take a quality like aloe life, it has these very important sugars called acetylmannose, and that stimulates our macrophage, and it goes into the bloodstream, and it actually starts gobbling up. It's a very simple visual: fungus, molds, black mold, any kind of candida albicans, viruses, okay, and bacteria. MRSA staph that antibiotics can't even touch most of the time. It's amazing how we have testimonies of people saying, well, it worked. I took your orange papaya, or I took your cherry berry whole leaf juice concentrate, or my favorite, the aloe gold, that tastes more like tomato juice. They're all the therapeutic, but 20% fruit juice. But we get the results. So the research is there. It's amazing for kids and adults, and it will help your clients and everyone. I find that sometimes people will say, I can't take aloe, it makes me feel bad. It causes detoxification. It starts killing off the fungus, candida albicans, and these other, you know, related molds and such. And then you have to get rid of the waste, and then the brain fog lifts, okay? But with the thyroid, there's so much fat tissue, the research has shown that a lot of toxicity actually is attracted to this double gland thyroid and parathyroid, especially in the waterways. And we have over 700 other chemicals in our environment that they find the average person can deal with, up to 300 of the 700. And it's like they when the researchers that have done the work, excuse me, and I wrote about it in my book. So this is my bigger book, which really gets into more of these topics in depth. But it's fun to learn because then you know how to avoid it, all the plastics and the cancer causing in our environment. But perchlorate in particular, the government found this jet fuel was collecting in the thyroid. This was about 6-7 years ago. There was a spill into our waterways, and they won't even talk about it anymore. It's a hush-hush secret.
Of
But it
course.
caused a lot of what you're seeing now, Coach Sarah Joy, and people, a lot more toxicity because water, we need it, but it's not filtered out easily. Okay, so we could only filter out certain things, and they put chlorine in the water to kill microbials that will kill us, and then there's bichlorinated products that hurt us, cause cancer. So I mean, that's why good water, we're 70% water. We need to have all the great parts of health into this beautiful, beautiful design of the body to detoxify, cleanse this, so it can start and feed it and nourish it and exercise it. And then you start really feeling good again on every level. Every gland benefits, which is so cool, especially if you add the essentials like E, essential fatty acids, even primrose oil, and zinc. Very important to work with, and I'm sure you talk about it, to help the iodine work and be absorbed faster to protect this gland. And seaweeds, I mean, we put seaweeds in our products, in our Fibermate that cleanses a lot of the waste out, and also our daily greens, which is a shortcut, right? The aloe is a shortcut, and our greens has so many detoxifying, wonderful nutrients as well. Kind of got ahead of myself.
You're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
I could listen to you talk all day. Yeah, I mean, I've been using your products for years and I love them. And anyone that is suffering, especially with like digestive issues, I'm like, hey, you need some stomach formula. And yeah, they're delicious. And I drink the concentrates before, well, if I forget, I do it like whenever I remember, but I try to do it before meals. And I definitely have noticed a difference when it comes to my digestion, because I was really, really bad in my HCL. I've had to balance my minerals, detox, do a lot of things in order to just be able to eat basic foods again. Just even like uncooked vegetables, you know, it got so bad. So that's actually around the time that I started using it and changing my diet and implementing a lot of protocols that I use to recover my health. So thank you for.
Congratulations. Yes.
Yeah.
And it speeds up the process.
Yeah.
I mean, some people never get well. They really don't. They succumb and they just, unfortunately, I mean, I'm not trying to paint this horrible picture. I'm just saying things that you work with, health issues you work with, and what I'm talking about. I mean, it's not a cure, but it's these 91 nutrients. And what aloe does, it's by itself, it has a lot of nutrition. Okay, 75% nutrition. Like what celery is valuable. I mean, you need these electrolytes, and it helps with cleansing. But when you consider it's like a multiple vitamin and mineral in a herb, aloe, and then you have 25% all these phytonutrients. The growth factor is really another. So the polysaccharides help the immunity. So you can really, clean up the garbage in the lymphatics. But the growth factor, gibberellins, is what really helps the skin repair in record time, inside and out. So when you have damage from radiation or you have damage from leaky gut and IBS, you have to regrow those microscopic villi so you can start absorbing again. And you did it. See, you did it all. You started putting the pieces together, just through all your pain and suffering. And that's the beautiful thing. Don't give up, friends, because the body is this divine design. And it was made to run on nutritious foods, not junk food, not sugar. And you get to the point where you don't want it. You're like, do I really want that piece of cheesecake? My husband and I kind of fantasize about a piece of cheesecake. And we are so happy with just having nutritious food. We might splurge and have some Thai food once in a while, but then the stomach formula if it's too spicy, you know. But it's like all about detoxing and then rebuilding the body and then enjoying, right?
Absolutely. I'm so thankful I can eat peanut butter again.
Yeah, I love it too. And it's a good source. It's a good source. But definitely the balance of getting the inflammation down. I think that as yourself, you know, you've got so much knowledge, but this big book, Beyond Gluten Intolerance, really helps people to understand more of the insanity of, you know, of herpes simplex, for instance, that can really come up even eating good food, too much garlic. Okay, it's like, too much garlic? Yeah, and then you feel tired and headachy. Where's this coming from? Well, it explains that almost 80 to 90% of the population has it. So take lysine. Oh my gosh, I feel good again. I don't feel crazy. And so you get over the fatigue. Number one nutritional deficiency in our world, anemia. Okay, number one illness, mental illness. Okay, so, you know, it's kind of a joke now. It's like, but again, back to the thyroid, it is such an important organ that just gets passed over. Doctors that haven't understood it. And so now the beautiful thing, because you have the thyroid stimulating hormone in the pituitary, it just shows you how important you have to have all the glands of the body detoxified. And that's where we have our daily Aloe Gold or the other flavored ones you can start. I talk about them being entry aloe to help everything you're doing. It's not like instead of. It's just that because of the bioavailability, everything gets absorbed better and you feel it. You feel the extra energy, or, you know, at least you're going through detox quicker. The brain fog lifts. I love N-acetylcysteine. You'll see that for brain fog. But again, it helps you to understand some of the triggers that you may not have pieced together. You and I have been discussing gelatin capsules can be a little problematic for people real sensitive with, because once the body, what happens is we all have it. It's not who is gluten intolerant, who is not. Okay, our generation, we were wrong about whole grains. So then you inherited that. Whole grain bread? No, no. Oatmeal? No.
I've never heard anyone admit that. I'm so glad you just admitted that, because all I remember as a child was the whole grain marketing and push. It was huge.
It was
and
huge.
Yes, now it's destroyed everyone.
It really did. It
Yeah.
took our society down, and people are still doing it, going, oh my God, you're eating white rice? Well, there's a reason why thousands of years of eating white rice have, because carbohydrates, but red potato, yams are better choices, but a little white rice, it actually helps the whole sleep cycle. So that epinephrine, norepinephrine, and serotonin sleep cycle, it's so interesting. And niacin plays into it, the B complex and B12. So, you know, that's another one of my faves, as you know, because people have been making up their own rules. That's what gets them in trouble. They think I can go, 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 and then they have a heart attack at young ages, or they have cancer. It's like anymore, it's like minefield out there. So stop thinking heredity is going to cover all your bad habits. No, it's 6 on the list of why people develop disease. It's what you do every day, friends. It's how you feed your children. Unfortunately, we deal with more environmental poison than ever before. So you need to eat more vegetables. And aloe actually is an antioxidant due to stimulating the liver to make more of its antioxidants, superoxide dismutase and glutamases, that keep us looking more pretty. I mean, hey, I've never been older.
And you are beautiful.
And it really is true that it helps the skin. When you drink it, not only are you going to feel better, meet your goals quicker, faster, it's a shortcut, aloe to the rescue, but you're going to look better than you ever thought possible. Thank you.
Well, you also have some topical aloe. You have the aloe spray, you have the topical aloe that you can put on. And so it's not just, exactly, the skin gel. So again, it's not just for sunburns. Like,
oh no. I mean, the 2 top cancers of our society is skin cancer and lung cancer. because of all the pollution. So that's why I say vitamin C, you got to eat your bell peppers and that are highest in vitamin C. And I take 1 to 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C with bioflavonoids. I like the Solgar line to really, for any people dealing with COPD and asthma and all these conditions. Again, these aren't cures, but it's just the body needs more when you have more pollution. And a lot of it's, you don't even smell it. That's a terrible thing. But topically, too many skin cancers now today because people don't have their vitamin A rich foods, the green, the orange, carrots and squash and all of those, and they're not absorbing. So once you start rebuilding the gut, you start absorbing better. Because ultimately, people even trying to eat well, they're not absorbing, especially fat solubles. So that's why, aloe helps the bile, but topically, it's so amazing for preventative for the UV damage that we are, and then use sunscreens. I'm a big zinc advocate. And I mean, there's no perfect sunscreen. Stop looking for the perfect sunscreen. But aloe actually helps you not burn so easy. Isn't that fun?
Oh, I didn't know
when
that.
you drink it. But then topically, always, it's just, we've had people reverse different skin cancers that came back after they had them removed because the cells were still there. Yeah, so it's really great, but always get it checked out. There's just too much melanoma today, and it can go systemic. Vitamin C, and again, absorption is 200% better when you take just an ounce of the aloe gold. I mean, how much easier can it be to just enhance everything you do? You save money. I mean, it's just amazing. You get 200% better on your vitamin C absorption into plasma. This was human studies, not mammals, and almost 300 with the vitamin E, which is, I hope you learned from this time, immunity, essential for immunity. It's funny how marketers seem to want to change that, but E is E. E is excellent for immunity, for healthy skin. It actually helps to keep the cells from breaking prematurely in the whole body. Yeah, and it helps the bone marrow again. So it's just like, yeah, and these help. This is the bioavailability study. It was done at Scranton, University of Scranton, and also University of Davis in California, nutrition schools and top-notch schools. It just was repeatable. And vitamin B12, time release. So, I mean, it's really a gift of nature that keeps on giving, a daily or in crises. A crisis, it's amazing. The Stomach Plus is the advanced digestive for reflux issues and so much more. I mean, like I said, I get a little too spicy. I love it, but my stomach doesn't. And so the Stomach Plus is wonderful too. But the daily, it comes in tablets too, friends. So if you're a little queasy and wondering, oh, gee, I don't know about the liquid, we make it in the tablet, but not $60 a quart like we started 30 years ago. It's like that, I just don't believe in that. And that's really why the philosophy of Aloe Life is more for less and get the results, the best results. You'll see that on the bottles.
Yeah, I love it. And you know what? I'm glad that you touch on the absorption piece because this is huge. We have that that tagline, you are what you eat.
Yes.
But in my health journey, I found out the hard way through pulling my labs and seeing how absolutely nutrient deficient I was. Even in protein, and in those days I lived on protein. It's what you absorb. It's not, well, it is what you eat, but add to it, it's what you absorb.
You are so true. And your story is really impactful, that you were eating it and not absorbing. And this also is, an article on the back of this handout that shows how it works, how our therapeutic aloe works. Just like your story is, this guy was loaded up with skin cancer, talking about skin. And I said, you're not absorbing. I met him at the co-op and I was doing a training there. And he goes, ha, 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 yeah, right. Aloe on the inside? Oh, yeah, 2 ounces, because he had all this laundry list of things wrong with him. His hemorrhoids were bothering him, all the skin cancer. And in just days, he started healing, just like you. You addressed that poor absorption, right?
Yeah, it's a big deal. What you said about the gut dysbiosis, it's a big deal. But people I try to teach us, like, there's a big difference between your gut being out of balance and out of whack and your stomach being out of balance and out of whack. They're one and the same, but almost different, because your stomach really needs a lot of the minerals to rebuild the stomach acid, but it's like you have to rebuild your gut at the same time to be able to produce the enzymes and, help your liver and everything. So it's just so incredible how we have to really focus on, it's like as you rebuild your gut, you're also everything. I love how everything is just a rhythm,
and can I jump in for a second? Because the hydrochloric acid is stimulated in the stomach with the Aloe Life, but enzymes are made in the pancreas. As you were mentioning, we need both. And so that's where, just like you teach, when you're building your glands up, you build the thyroid up, you're getting the other glands built up, and then the aloe comes in to the rescue for the HCl, because people use up all their B complex. They don't have enough to stimulate their own hydrochloric acid. That's what's missing. But that's what really pinch hits and does so many other things along with immunity, as you're saying. With your story, not absorbing, it was very, very impactful to me as well to hear your story again.
I'll have to share that. I haven't shared that in a long time, but like on my page live for everyone listening. So you're bringing up so many symptoms that everyone in my community battles: the constipation, the acid reflux. And one of the things that's really becoming more and more apparent to me right now, that's really scaring me, is how many women are addicted to PPIs, Tums, and so can you speak to how aloe would help that?
Yes, I am so happy you brought us back to this, because the proton pump inhibitors are even being given to babies, in the hospital. I am not kidding, because they have this, I always have had an undeveloped digestive system, friends. So again, we're seeing it because people are out of balance. Their pH is out of balance in their body, okay? And they malnutrition. And so you have GERD in a baby because they can't digest mother's milk or the formula that they're being given. And so instead of giving proper acidity, they're giving them something to decrease acidity. No. Yep. And there's a rule of thumb: sweet on the stomach, sweet on the what is it? Bitter on the tongue. Sorry. Bitter on the tongue, sweet on the stomach. So the bitter's like,
oh, I love that.
Yeah, isn't that great? Bitter on the tongue, sweet on the stomach. So you need to have balanced acidity. And what happens with true reflux, so much of the misdiagnosis is happening in just like the babies. They need more proper acidity. 80 to 90% people that are diagnosed with overacidity and belching and heartburn and just scary symptoms, you feel like you're going to die, right? And it's usually gas just building up from not properly digesting protein in the stomach, and your food sits around because you're not having peristalsis, lack of B complex. And so it's not going through the GI tract. In fact, there's a new gastroparesis happening with young people. It just stops. The whole GI tract stops. Okay. So it's like, you've got to eat nutritious foods. You've got to absorb it. This is really telling you that the shortcut is Aloe Life to the rescue, and then getting your core nutrients as you teach in place and such. The diet takes a little longer. Okay. So how it works, the big book goes into it quite nicely. So that's where we think it's
why don't you share where everyone can find that book?
Okay, Beyond Gluten Intolerance is available. It launched almost 10 years ago now on Amazon, or by calling 800-414-ALOE. Okay, so 800-414-2563 is ALOE. Okay, so you can call directly to Aloe Life and get the book at discount. And you might even want to start with the Aloe Life line, the basic foundational. You will feel it within 5 minutes. That's what happened to me. Okay, to 45 days for bigger change. Okay, it takes you a month to start building new lining cells if you're giving your body the nutrition and it absorbs. But why, in the middle of the book, it talks about special focus factors, and definitely reflux and GERD and these proton pump inhibitors, Nexum, Prolosec, that stop the acidity that we need to be healthy. When you stay on them, for one thing, you're going to have bone breakage. I mean, you can have your jaw break someday. You're eating some, I don't know, like something you shouldn't, or just biting into a cob of corn, broken bones. I mean, that's what staying on these inhibitors of HCl produce. Bone loss, immune decline, terrible things, premature, everything, So again, because it's out of control, friends, people don't understand it. Let me explain. So most of it's misdiagnosed. You need proper HCl. So we have many testimonies all the time because an herbal bitter before meals, as you take it, Coach, helps you stimulate proper hydrochloric acid, and then you don't get the heartburn. Yay! And then many people, I ask them, did you get value when you took your PPIs? And they said no. And so it just tells you that that's not what was needed. And so then we talk about the aloe. We just say, try it out. It's like, oh, it worked great. We've got the 800 number. We get people calling all the time with testimonies and a quick question or something. But again, the 10% of people that really have reflux, what's problem is the liver. So it's a lazy liver that's not producing bile. So that's the problem, and it actually does go into it, and it's just the best investment you can ever make. We're going to have actually on the website, if you want to order on Aloe Life's website, we're actually, as a compliment to the nice work you're doing to help get the word out on Aloe Life, Coach, is to have like your name as on the checkout, so that we can kind of track, it's like, who's buying Aloe Life? It's really fun.
That's exciting. Thank you.
So
the book, you guys, is called Beyond Gluten. So those of you that are going to be listening to this on the replay, the audio replay on my podcast, it's called Beyond Gluten Intolerance. And like she said, you can get it on the Aloe Life. You can call that number, or you can get it on her website. I actually have a copy of it. It's really great. She wrote it herself. She's a genius. And so question about the PPIs. So if someone is currently dependent on a PPI, they cannot go off of it because they are just in excruciating pain when they go off of it. Can they take one of your stomach formulas on top of their PPI as almost as like a buffer as they try to transition off of a PPI?
Such a good question. Absolutely. We've had this product out for close to 20 years now, Stomach Plus formula. So it's in a base of aloe. Can you grab that, Don? It's in a base of the aloe, and then we have our wonderful herbal extracts that help to balance acidity. So when you truly are high acidity, and you actually even have a problem drinking water, and I work with people that are that out of balance, and as you have, and it's really scary, but what's nice is you can stay on your medicine. We never tell people to get off any medicine, okay? It's only when you don't need it anymore, when your blood sugar comes back into balance, which all the time, this is a given, because we have the trace minerals loaded in all of our products, the aloe itself. But the Stomach Plus formula is amazing because it is a tonic. It balances under acidity. It brings it up with cinnamon, with clove, with aloe, which is a bitter, as well as a little bit of golden seal. So, and then I worked with herbalists. So it's not just that I know so much. I learned from great people, and then you just get to put the pieces together. And then also the calming effect. The meadowsweet is an amazing herb to calm that nausea and over acidity. Sometimes it's through medication that people are taking that are really upsetting their stomach to the point where the daily helps, our daily Aloe Gold, but really, truly, because of the calming effect of the catnip. Catnip is amazing. It's like a tranquilizer to the stomach. And then you do feel giddy because you feel better. So it really is a tonic that helps to bring down acidity when it's over acidity with reflux. It's because they don't have bile. Bile is made in the liver, stored in the gallbladder. And when you have a lazy liver, it's not making it. So it's supposed to do two things. It helps to digest fats, okay, in the small intestine, along with your lipase that's made in the pancreas, okay? But when it's not being made, the second thing it's supposed to do is alkalinize the food contents in your stomach. Yeah, and when that doesn't happen, you got more of this gas and indigestion, and then the whole system stays in inflammation. It's accumulative. So if you get, you're eating poorly, you're eating all the triggers, the sugar, the dairy, the whole grains, you're just bound and determined you're going to eat oatmeal every day. But see, all that glutinous, very inflammatory for gut. It might taste good. It's a sweet grain. Go to quinoa. I mean, that's like a nice, definitely improvement. Yeah. And then, maybe just, eggs, if you can eat eggs. But again, excuse me, eggs are one of the best foods. It's a quality food. They got out of jail years ago. They don't cause heart disease. So that and a piece of fruit and greens. So yes, you can get out of this prison. It's like a prison when your digestive system's not working properly with the stomach plus change of diet. And it can take like, again, 45 days, that's a month and a half to 3 months to allow, making these changes to allow your body to heal, to get waste out, to get the liver to the point. And we have an advanced detox formula too. I just want you to know that many people need the advanced detox plus formula because honestly, they need that milk thistle. You and I were talking about that. I'm sure you've been using it and other herbs.
Yeah, it's such a good liver source. I love milk thistle so much.
Yeah. And then the Isiac herbs for all lymphatic because of all the toxicity and really plastics for skin conditions that are just like the whole body's hardening up with rosacea. And that's a congested liver. And it ruins people's lives. I mean, they wonder, why do I have all this redness? Well, broken capillaries because the E is not being absorbed. So I go to micellized E, the Detox Plus, and people just send us a lot of blessings because it really works. You start having the most healthiest with eczema, psoriasis, and rosacea, and just rashes that won't seem to, go away. Kids too. And then the essential fatty acids. See how core nutrients always go with our products. You've got to have EFAs. I love fish oil because it gets in the system in hours. So
yeah, I use I have a really pristine cod liver oil that I suggest to my clients, especially for their retinol, because like everyone is retinol deficient too. It's just insane.
You are so right. You are so right. I mean, and what's cool is they're not expensive. You just a teaspoon of these start getting in the system in just minutes and hours and are used where beta carotene from carrots and such are important, but it can take, some people cannot break beta carotene down, just like you had seen how you were poorly absorbing fish oil. We really align ourselves with foundational nutrition. I love working with you.
You're so sweet. Yeah, I love what you've developed. Your line is absolutely incredible. So while we have about 15 minutes left, I want to talk about PM, like reproductive. Okay, so again, a lot of the problems that I'm hearing and experiencing is like so much PCOS, PMDD. I'm hearing that term a lot from women nowadays. I have PMDD.
Yes.
And PMS or, period problems. So I'm curious if Aloe can come in, any of your Aloe products can help with the period problems, the PMDD, PCOS.
Okay, such a good question. And, again, some people go, you say it does everything. Well, as a standalone, Aloe Life, because we don't over-filter it, okay, we keep the over 100. Some people say there's 300 nutrients in the plant, but we have to be FDA approved. You have to always support through testing what you say. And we are, believe me, of all companies, we are in the World Conference, International Aloe Science Council, and we present our findings, my findings. We get to present and really bring out all the adulteration. There's so many products that aren't aloe. They're selling as aloe, but they're not. Okay, so as an industry, we try to police that and such. So when you have a therapeutic aloe, that's how we actually label our product. It's 5 times the value. We gently remove water. Okay, so that's why it can help so much and be much more far-reaching. Okay, the plant itself, or Aloe Life, I kid you not, there isn't better products, and even our tablet is amazing. Okay, so when it comes to helping the body function properly, it works as a partner, well, by itself, because there's over 50 trace minerals and many macro minerals, and then these nutrients, these phytonutrients that kill infection and that help to clean up the body with anti-inflammatory. There's 5 natural anti-inflammatories. So you get that down, healing is allowed. Also, I mean, for cardiovascular disease and diabetes, I mean, there's reasons why it actually helps. It works with folic acid. It works with all that. So really, it is important for you all to know that my reference is this works better than any other product. Okay, so when we deal with hormones, okay, toxicity is an issue. Okay, but also we're our own worst enemy. So avoid the anti-nutrients. I list them in my book. Even kale is an anti-nutrient. I mean, people have lifted kale to the point where, and I like kale, it's pretty high in roughage. Don't eat too much at one time. If you've ever had hemorrhoids, you might have them again. It's like the highest roughage. But these oxalates and phytates that are in certain foods cheat us, like soy can cheat us of a lot, and pull minerals out that we need, and really set up a hormone imbalance in the body. So again, with that in mind, what I always come back to is, yes, aloe does help with the PCOS, which is menstrual symptoms. And if I'm reading, no, it's the opposite. It's the PMDD. Okay, because it helps you absorb your minerals. The body, the brain needs like 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams of potassium. But what our training, we program our brain to go, oh, let's eat the potato chips. We can eat some corn chips with all that salt. Too much salt fools the body. We really need potassium. So you've got your bananas, that sometimes people can't digest those fats in the banana and they have a problem with them. But cucumbers, I'm like hooked on cucumbers because
sweet potatoes.
Because of the high potassium. So to avoid and really reverse these horrible symptoms, you feel like killing yourself. And probably people have, because they get so depressed throughout pre-menses and then post-menopause, because the hormones, friends. And I did go through menopause. Actually, when I tested my hormones, she goes, you got the hormones of a 16-year-old. I'm like, oh, great. No help on that. You just got to go through some of the night flashes when you are changing your hormones around.
Yeah.
But the aloe helps every gland, including the sex glands, function properly. I tested great. Okay. So it was all about just coming back to really keeping the salt down so that you don't retain fluid. That fluid retention is horrible. And the other, okay, with the pre-mens syndrome. And then also blood sugar. The cycle causes the blood sugar to actually dump sugar from the liver. You hold stores of glycogen in the liver, okay? It's for emergency use. Well, I guess pre-menses, maybe in case you get pregnant, and so the little fetus will have some extra nutrition. I don't know why. But you get this dumping of the sugar into the bloodstream pre-menses. And the number one reason people have neuroses and even thoughts of suicide and just so much depression is blood sugar. So I will tell you, the studies have been repeatable on pre-diabetes and diabetes with aloe. It's amazing herb. Now you see why I get excited. And I didn't know. I just knew a little bit, when I first saw the value on immunity that got me hooked. But I certainly have become one of the premier researchers I know a lot of the heavy-duty researchers in Japan and Korea and around the world now, because they are so God-given to us, because you don't make a lot of money in research, but you really let people know what works and doesn't. So what you will see, you need to stabilize blood sugar, chromium picolinate or glycinate, whatever you prefer. But more than anything, eat regular meals, especially during your mincing time, and definitely choose high potassium foods. Celery, amazing. I love celery, and the fiber is so good. So again, those are the two things I would like. Protein also plays a very important role, and people under-eating protein every day of the week. I say a variety. So as you can eat them without pain, lentils are the easiest to digest of the legume category, but they're actually a grass. And so maybe that's why they're just so much easier to digest. And then sometimes pintos, which I love. I love beans and garbanzos, but add beans to your soups, add them to your meals. They satiate you. We want to be happy and healthy, right?
Yeah. And you know what? I'm glad you touched on the blood sugar because that's what's going on. I dropped a little question in my stories yesterday, called, "Have you ever heard of diabetes of the uterus?"
Oh, I love that. I
So
love that analogy because there you go. And our greens, honestly, certified organic. It's been on the market for 16 years. This helps so much with blood sugar. We're all about stabilizing blood sugar. The nopal cactus with the aloe vera is just so incredible. And we are certified organic after 15 years. Last year it took us 10 months. It's like, it's not easy to get certification. We had to
yeah.
change 2 ingredients because sometimes it comes in certified, sometimes not. And so it's amazing. And like just one small scooper, it mixes really easy in any blender drink or juices. And you feel the difference. It's got chlorella and spirulina. Everything is gluten-free. We are the only greens company that tests every single harvest of for gluten because it's really pervasive and it causes inflammation, which drives the diseases, friends, and autoimmune. And that's why we talk about it. It's not like no bread. It's just like, it's why we find the Mediterranean diet is really kind of the gold seal of how to eat. And it's like a variety of different foods and proteins. And it's not vegan. Vegan is an invention from the monastery monks that used to be absolutely crazy out of their brain in Greece. It's true. Yeah. It's in the store. You will find some really fun reading, and then in the back, how to really get over many conditions, Health 101, like draining your pockets of diverticuli that holds infection, that keep the whole body in chronic fatigue syndrome.
Oh,
it's like really crazy.
when I hear people saying like, "Oh, I'm going to go in for a colonoscopy," I'm like, "Oh no," because it is known for like breaking those pockets, and it just dumps poison and problems and makes them sicker. And I'm like, don't do it. Unless it's like you have to, unless it's necessary.
So
but
taking
yeah,
the Aloe Life pre doing that, and definitely waiting, afterwards and doing it, it helps to fight the infection that comes. And my mom had a break in her colon for months that she was having actually food come out when she would urinate.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, but because she was on the program, the Aloe Life program, which is so similar to yours with the Aloe Life juice, she did not have infection, which can lead to death, shock. You can go into shock. And so again, she had a thyroid issue called from the parathyroid that had little tumors on it. And so this is something the doctors were not aware of, that it causes bone loss. And they didn't have a handout on it back then or anything, and it drove us crazy. We thought she had Parkinson's. We didn't know what neuromuscular problem she had, but she kept eating tofu. I love tofu, but it has anti-nutrients. You really shouldn't eat a lot of tofu. It's just like kind of like a condiment.
Yeah, I say unless it's sprouted and organic. Yeah.
There you go. The adami bean, I love that. But you start eating a lot of the soy. So very good. Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's fun when you go to sushi and they give you a little bowl of the beans and you can pop them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, wow, so much information. Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us today.
My pleasure.
So it just basically just to sum everything up, I love how everything you talked about, all of the symptoms, all of the diseases, all of the problems, they all just stem back to the foundation of eating properly, staying away. I love that you say it, anti-nutrients. I actually have never said that before, but it is. It's anti what we need. And really like getting your fiber and bringing aloe in as your companion, your savior, your companion to repair, and then keeping it in your health medicine cabinet as
one of the researchers. Yes, one of the researchers. Well said. named it a director. The aloe is a director of the butyric acid cycle that we're talking about in the colon, and also just for the whole body to really help to wake up the immune system, balance out the autoimmune. The difference is more for immunity. That's it. 1 to 2 ounces is all you take for just really getting the body that much better, and then 3 to 4 ounces for more.
And you know what I love about it? It's kid friendly.
Yes.
I give it to my daughter, my 10-year-old daughter, who's super picky. She'll take it. And I also give it, so I don't know, is it safe for pregnancy?
Okay, very good question. I had a person call me and say, you're not supposed to take it when it's pregnant. I had a miscarriage not taking your product. I said, it wasn't from our product. Do you know what the incidence of miscarriages in this country? It's like a third world, terrible, terrible placement. I mean, we're 40th in world health. The WHO just stopped even keeping track because the US is so bad. It used to be 36, now it's 40th in world health. It's like, who's counting anymore, right? Because big pharma keeps shoving it down people's throat, literally. And it's like, responsible medicine is what we want. Responsible medicine, and tell the truth about health and nutrition. And kids thrive on this, whether it be their asthma, their undeveloped immune systems, definitely a lot of bowel disease when your children don't put on weight easily. So I'm so happy to hear about, and pets. And so anything you read negative about aloe, I think that's a good time. It's all related to diarrhea. Okay, who doesn't know? Don't keep your bowels in loose stool diarrhea. And that's the warning on the back of our bottles. And if you know you have diabetes or blood sugar issues, take it with meals like we suggest, because guess what? It really does bring that glucose back down into a normal range. And if you're on medication, you might have to adjust it, but that's a good thing. It's expensive, and it's keeping your body from really experiencing the entire optimum body health and really having fun in this world, right?
Absolutely. Isn't that what it's all about? We're all trying to get that good quality of life so we can be a good mom. We can have fun. We can go to our kids' games and sporting events and all, enjoy our vacations. And we just want to be happy and enjoy and be out of pain and enjoy our bodies and just have peace. Yes. So I love that. I love that. Okay. So just to be clear, it is safe for pregnancy and nursing.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I do get off. But it is safe for pregnancy, and it was nothing to do with her miscarriage at all. And I explained to her. But again, if you have had many miscarriages, don't take it. I mean, there is nothing wrong with it. The only connection would be putting the body into diarrhea. And that's how my mind just jumped ahead to tell you that if you have loose stool, cut back. Because if you just took a raw aloe leaf, like you can buy them these days now too, but if you took it with all the outer sap, it's pretty hardy. We filter a little bit out of our product to be compliant to the FDA, only because they said, oh, it could be harmful. No, it's because people, they won't let us just put the warning in bigger. It's all compliant. We're best friends with the FDA. But it's just, that's the only bad side effect. If you ever read that it causes cancer, no. It doesn't. It's just that if you're into diarrhea, you could have a depletion of nutrients. This is what the rat study showed. And then they developed little cancer cells because they were in diarrhea for 2 years. Hello.
Oh, cancer. 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, that's so much depletion. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so much depletion. So no, it doesn't cause any problem. However, it's, and my children, through all of my 7 grandkids, have always taken the Aloe Life and given it to their babies when they were teething. It's just amazing. And if they had a little bit of upset, as we said, underdeveloped. And there's a whole section on children in the book, which is really cool. It gets into vaccinations and so many different things. And the nutritional needs of kids are really great, much more than parents think. So getting ready for childbirth, and then during, and then, feeding our kids good.
You can add it into your prenatal regimen. It's safe to take after
you make more milk. You make more milk.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a galactogen. Isn't that great? You make more milk.
Wow. I
Yeah.
mean, literally, like, there's nothing it doesn't seem to do. It'll regrow your hair. It'll make you
Oh,
younger.
your hair grows more, your nails are better, but you have to have enough calcium and silica and EFAs. If your nails break easy, lack of EFAs, which really drive us women a little batties, because we're so hands-on and I garden and all kinds of stuff. Why do my nails break? But they're better than ever. So,
Yeah.
it's just use your common sense. If you're diabetic, take it with meals and just start with a small amount, okay? You will get results, and that's what's beautiful, and you will feel better. If you have a tendency for loose stool, it's because with celiac, you go in between constipation and loose stool. So that's normal, and we have our Fibermate, which is wonderful as a scrubber for constipation.
Oh my gosh. So
Really great.
I don't know why my cycle will bring on a little bit of constipation every time. And so I took 3 of those a couple of days ago, and I was good.
Ooh, yes,
Yeah.
good. It's such a great cleanser. It's both. It's for regularity and detoxing. So our detox we made it even stronger. I mean, after 20 years having it, not weaker like people do. So you get your money's worth. You really do. I mean, you can take capfuls of our product and it impacts the body because there's no water in it. Our lotions, no water in it. Okay, our
Oh,
body heat. Yeah.
I love your lotions. It's my
Oh,
daily.
woohoo. All
Love
right.
it. I use the
Yeah.
face lotion. I use the body lotion. Absolutely love it. And I love that it doesn't have a strong smell because I don't, I want all those chemicals and I don't like being overwhelmed like with Bath and Body Works type lotions. Like they just gross me out. So I love
Thank
yours. It's smooth. It's not sticky. Just great, great, great
you.
product.
We
Thank
made
you.
it for chemically sensitive. Thank you. For chemically sensitive people. My daughter, Dawn, who you know, now grown with her own children, she was very sensitive, but I didn't know about oatmeal. I didn't know that she was so dairy intolerant like her grandmother, Nana. So anyway, when we took her off the dairy and the oatmeal, guess what? Her rash cleared up, but before that, it became very crusty. It was really, a challenge. And every child can be different. Every person is different. But at the same time, the lotion, I'm glad you love it because we do too. And for any of your troubled skin, so many people can't take it. So thank you. And the body heat for pain, oh my goodness, okay, for your aches and pains, any time of the day and month, I'll tell you, even a little bit on the tummy during menses is so soothing. There's no
Oh,
buy-in. Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
think about that with cramps because I have a bottle of that too. And I was just putting it on my shoulders.
Ooh,
Um,
yeah, so
yeah,
good.
because, we carry our stress on our shoulders. I feel like every woman does. Yeah, so I use the body heat and I love that it has that little vanilla hint.
Yes, it's not been gay smelling. Yeah, thank you so much. And it's
Yeah.
actually antimicrobial and one of the most sexy sexy scents. I didn't know that until we were researching the
Yeah.
vanilla years ago,
Yeah.
and natural antimicrobial. But your feet, oh my gosh, it's like a visit to the spa, So body heat is wonderful. Sports rub, and we sponsor sports, athletics. We have an amazing woman. I just did an interview with her for 8 years, 10 years, I think. Monica Brandt. Google her, check out our website. Amazing Christian woman, as you are just an amazing, counselor in every way, coach. But she actually was a pioneer in sports. She's to open the door that much further with track and field and contour. I mean, check her out at 46.
I
This
love
woman's body is like unbelievable. But she rides horses. She goes out to the barn and takes care of her animals and stuff. So she's one of us. She's down to earth, loves her life, and she uses all of the Aloe Life products too.
That's awesome. Good for her. I will check her out.
Okay.
Sounds like someone that I could like really enjoy and look up
Oh,
to.
yeah, absolutely. I'll
Well, thank
introduce
you.
you.
Yeah. Thank you again for being here. This was seriously amazing. I can't wait for my audience to hear this. And why don't you let everyone know where they can talk to you, contact you, your website, IG, Instagram.
Okay, yeah, it's aloelife.com. alolife.com, www.alolife. And definitely we're going to have special promos for all of your followers because of all the great work you do. Appreciate that. And getting the word out. I mean, people go, are you sure about this with aloe? And it's like, yeah, when you have a therapeutic product. And then we're all on Facebook, Instagram, as we're working on today. What else? You can, hey, if you use our products as you do, like we always appreciate comments on Google and Yelp, and all of those. So, you know, it's just, we want you to be the healthiest you can be, and you can fast track it with Aloe Life. And then once you're feeling good, hey, a little bit daily goes a long way. You know, I've had more people go, well, I was feeling so good, I got off, and then guess what happened? They started getting into not feeling so good and all, because it gives you that extra support that the body really needs these days. I don't want to ever stop taking it. So yeah, give us a call to 800-414-2563, 800-414-2563. If we hit on something that you need a quick question on, or you want to order, you know, on the phone, you don't have the internet, we're more than welcome. We have 5 incredible people, 9 in our office, that all have their own testimony too. So we all have been in your place and building back better and just feeling the best we can. Feeling good again.
Amen. Who doesn't want to feel good again? We all do.
Check out my YouTube too. I have a YouTube, Feeling Good Again. Yeah. It's
nice.
With Karen Masterson Cook.
Nice.
Kind of long. Yeah, kind of long, but you're doing beautiful work, Coach Sarah.
Thank you. And I'll add all of this information that she just shared into the show notes below, the episode show notes, so you guys can easily contact her with her links and information. So, all right, Karen, well, I will talk to you soon. You are the best. And bye, everyone at Aloe International. Bye, Dawn. I hope you guys all have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, you too.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye.